Hello and welcome to the next episode of Build the Back to the Future Delorean, where we're going to be looking at what comes in issues 66. No, we're not. 66. Issues 16 and 17. I'm jumping ahead there quite a bit. Jumping to the future. A pun so early on. Anyway, yes, so that is what we're going to be looking at in this issue. It's going to be a lot of engine parts, so giving away spoilers. And I don't know much about cars, as you know. Definitely don't know much about engines, so don't look for any facts about engines. If I tell you now, even if I try and say something, call it by its correct name, I'm going to get it wrong. So be prepared for that. I've warned you, and it probably will happen. But I'm looking forward to getting started on something other than that troublesome chassis. So let's get started first off by looking at what comes in these two issues. But before we get started at looking at the parts, I just want to talk about this poster that came with my next set. Now I don't know what issue this will come with if you're picking it up weekly, but it came with this set of four for this month. And what it is basically, it's a breakdown of all the parts that will go towards the DeLorean. So here we have the front parts here, and the door and side section parts there. If we just open it up, flip it around, we have the time travel unit. So we've got the vents there, the fusion, makes flux capacitor, Mr. Fusion there, the reactor there, stuff like that. And then at the top we have the body and rear section, which looks very nice indeed. And very excitingly, we will also get the clock and a little plutonium crate to fit in the DeLorean as well. So that is very, very cool that we're going to get that at some point. And then if we open it up, we have an interior exploded diagram. So down here, all the interior parts, and then the chassis and the wheels and all those parts there. And then at the top, DeLorean engine and everything that goes into it. So speaking of the engine, let's get started by looking at the first engine parts, which we get in issue 16, which are these parts here. So let's just take them out of the box and let's have a look. These are metal. How awesome is that? These are not plastic parts, these are metal. Good quality, tough parts, these. Brilliant. So we have this part here, all these parts that go towards making the engine, which I'll go into in more detail as the video goes on. And similarly with issue 17, similarly, we have more engine parts here, which are also metal. Very, very nice indeed. All the screws that we will need and stuff like that. So I'm just going to get started by looking at what comes in issue 16 first, and more specifically these two pieces here. Now I did say that all these parts are metal. I lied. This part is metal. Good sturdy metal part, but this part here is actually plastic sprayed silver, and you can kind of see the difference. This is a lot flatter. This one's got that nice shimmer, so you can see that there. So the first thing you do with these parts is you see these two holes there. They attach to these two holes there. So when that's all done, it will look like this. Now this is a little loose on mine. I've tried to tighten the screws as much as I can, and it's still a little loose. I might have to look at that a little bit later on. The screws that you use to attach these parts are AM screws. Similarly for the part that will go here, which is this part, which is the pan. So again, attach some AM screws and screw that part in there like that. And there is the pan attached, and I've tightened everything up now so it doesn't wobble. And that is what it looks like at this stage. And if I just show you the difference again in the silver, so you've got a very flat silver there, and you've got the shimmer there of the metal. It doesn't bother me too much because they are different parts, but yeah, just for those people who want a solid silver, you might want to spray paint it or something like that. I don't know. Also, some people said that the chassis is actually silver on the original DeLorean as well, so if you want to go ahead spray paint that silver or grey, I'd recommend you do that. Going back on to the next part then of this engine, we're going to be looking at these two pieces here. Again, this is metal, and this is a rubbery, quite bendable piece. You just get this part here, you just push it through that way so it looks like that, and we have two of them, so just push it in there so it looks like that, and there's that all done. We then get the other half of this transmission part here, and what we have to do is push that in there like that. Sorry, I made a mistake here. You actually attach these parts onto the part that we've been working on already, because it has a hole there, and it's not a complete hole, it has got a flat top. Similarly with this part here, it has got a flat top cut out part there. So you just push that in there, and then you screw it in there like this with the EP screw. Let's see if I can do it on camera. Just like this. Just screw it in there. Not quite getting this, be right back. So it looks like that when it is all done. Maybe slightly more upright. I might loosen that so the hole is facing more upright. But that is what this part looks like at this stage. And moving on to the next part, I actually second guessed myself. You do use this part, but you don't use these two holes, obviously. You use this hole here with the flat top. Same with the cut off circle there, just like that, just like before. And when it's all finished, it will look like this. There we go. So you got that part there. And then all that's left to do is attach these two parts just like that, and screw them together in these screws there. And that is the transmission part of the engine all complete, looking very nice indeed. Spark plugs, well, I don't know whether they're spark plugs, whatever these parts are. Someone's going to tell me off for that in the comments. But whatever these parts here sticking out, got a hole here. Yeah, looking very, very nice indeed. Again, weighty. I think that is the word of this DeLorean, weighty. Yeah, very happy with how this part has come out. And that is issue 16 all done. Let's move on to the parts of issue 17. So the first parts then of issue 17 are these two parts here. We've got this plastic little grated part here, and we have this metal silver bit here. Not entirely sure what all these parts are, like I say. Engines, car engines, no idea. But this piece goes on there like that and pushes through there. See, there's two holes to attach this piece. And here it is all finished. A little loose, so I'll just tighten that up off camera. But you attach it with FP screws like that and put this part aside for now, because we'll come back to that in a second. So the next part is this part here, which will attach onto the back of there like that. But I just want to throw up a point here. In issue 17, we get a DM label with these screws. Actually, it says DP screws in the instructions, so I'm pretty sure these are DP screws. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have got the screws wrong, just the labeling. So just be aware that that is different. And so you just flip this part around there like that, and you get this part with this sticky outy part looking like that, and clip it together just there, and you get some of your DM or DP screws. Just pop one in there. Screw that down. Same again here. Oh, no, that's not going to fit. Be right back. And here it is all done with this part attached, seamlessly molding into the rest of this transmission part. Looking gorgeous, this. Like I say, I don't know much about car engines, but this looks stunning. So the next part is this kind of weird Donnie Darko bunny bit. Can you see that? No, this part goes on here like that, with these three holes here correspond to these three holes here. Make sure this little shelf part is sticking out, and it will fit in there like that. And there is that bit all installed. It really does look like some kind of dog. You know Gromit from Wallace and Gromit? If I put this here, throw a picture of Gromit there, it looks a little bit like that, doesn't it? Is that just me? Maybe as I'm looking at this, editing it, I don't think it looks like Gromit anymore, and I feel like a bit of a fool. If I do, I put fool there. If I don't, I put yay here. But as I'm filming it, it looks a little bit like Gromit or a dog. But it is an engine. I like putting faces on things, okay? Anyway, that is... Oh, no. An aardvark. Oh, I know. The raccoons. The evil guys from the raccoons. Picture here. That was a nice little sidetrack, wasn't it? Anyway, that is the engine at this stage. So the next two pieces of the build are these two pieces here, which are plastic black parts. Two holes there for this pipe. Make sure you get the thin end or this part of the pipe facing this way, and just push the pins in there like that. So it will look like this when it's all done, with that pipe leading off to nowhere by the looks of it, but never mind. And then we bring back this part, and the pipe attaches to here. No, it doesn't. My mistake. It attaches here. So we've got a little tab hole like that for this tab there, and you line everything up, push it in place there, and then you screw it in through this hole like I have done here. So that is what the pipe looks like coming off the back of the engine here. And then the last thing to do is just get the bottom of the engine part here, the bit with the grill, which we did earlier, place it over there like that, and we'll attach it into these two holes there. So when it is done, it will look like this, with the screw holes going in that way and this bit intact. I just want to say use JM screws to screw in the bottom part of this engine there, and an AP screw for this pipe work there. And that is where we leave the engine at the end of this video. So after 1617, this is what the engine looks like. And this is hefty. Everything about this model is hefty. It's going to be very, very heavy to pick up when it's all done, if all the interior parts are made with metal like this. So yeah, more engine next time, in 2 weeks' time. So I hope you will join me for that. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I'll be back next week with more R2-D2. I'm going for an even shorter video next week based on the parts that we got this time, so stay tuned for that. And if you think this does look like a face, let me know what characters you think that this part looks like. I threw up 2 suggestions earlier, but let me know what you think in the comments. Just a little bit of fun to tide you over for next time. If you call it fun, many won't. I'm going to leave you with that thought. So until next time then, guys, take care. Bye bye.